Hello there, my name is Wikianaru, and this is the ADHD test. So this has been done a million and one times, and as you have been told before, I am completely unoriginal and have no individual thoughts of my own. Um, many YouTubers have done this, but I thought it would be kind of interesting to do because I was recently for those of you who don't know me, personal friends and stuff like that may have known this because I've told you I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. I went through a battery of tests from a general like personality trait questionnaire type thing to solving mental math equation things with no like help from a calculator or anything like that. I suck at math, by the way. Um, I probably have mentioned this before. Um, None of my siblings, I don't think, are good at math. My father's not. Well, I mean, my father's pretty good at math. My mom's at math, but like none of my siblings are good at math. Neither am I. I can hardly do like multiplication in my head, let alone like long division and doing x's and y's. And when you throw letters in, I'm just lost. I'm surprised I managed to get past any sort of math in any grade whatsoever. But I'm off topic already. That helps prove. But yeah, it ranged from like a general questionnaire, general background. Like this is something I've dealt with most of my life, but we never really actually got me tested for it until now. Because I got the opportunity to do it. I got the opportunity to do it for free, but it was still like a actual professional test, and there was a whole bunch of different things ranging from like making different patterns out of these different multicolored blocks to like an actual like sit down on the computer quiz thing that asked me like 300 something questions about my personality and like random questions like would the job of being a park ranger interest you or things like that. And then there was other things like defining words or whatever, different random words. One of the ones that I was surprisingly good at was actually repeating back series of numbers and then putting them in numerical order and repeating those back. And then like the question would grow longer and longer and longer, like the more we did it. But yes, I went through hours of testing, and I was given the diagnosis by a psychologist of ADHD. And that was something fairly recent. But all that aside, I decided, why not take to the internet to see if it's real? Because who can just trust a doctor and leave it at that? Not me. All right, so this is on the website. I just kind of looked up, like, those random BS, like, clickbait article quiz things that mean absolutely nothing. And 95% of the time, they're completely wrong, and they have nothing to do with anything. And you basically take them, and you're like, that makes no sense to me as a person whatsoever, and this has improved nothing in my life whatsoever. Those kind of quizzes. Like, but this, I looked this up. This is not, from what I can tell, a credible quiz. It's only 9 questions. That's hardly enough to, like, make any sort of, like, actual full diagnosis. Because, like I said, literally just one of the quizzes alone that I took was, like, over 300 like questions just by itself. That was one quiz. So you can imagine it was not a fun time because it took forever. But finally into the quiz. This is on. It's from Totally ADD, and this is technically it's do I have ADD, which is attention deficit disorder, ADHD, which is what I was diagnosed with, is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, which they vary in some ways. The hyperactivity part of it, which is like constantly feeling like you have a motor running inside of you, like you constantly have to do things, or you just get bored or unmotivated, and lots of other different things. But I only took like 5 minutes to look for this, so I didn't really look too deep into it. But let's finally take the test. So, question 1 of 9. I have poor attention to detail. I often make small mistakes. I skim read. I rush things. I mess up dates, get details wrong, or make simple errors because I'm not paying attention. Yes, all the bloody time. That is probably half the reason why I fail quizzes and stuff, is because I skim read. I rush things because I just want to move on to something else. Except for video games. Video games is probably one of the only things that I don't like rush. I mean, sometimes I do rush things in video games because it's, like working on a time, like trying to get a better time. That's a different story, though. Mess up dates. Generally, mess up dates unless it's like something really important, like a doctor's appointment or something like that. I generally get those right. Get details wrong. It's very non-specific. But yes. Or make simple errors because I'm not paying attention. Yes, half the time I'm not paying attention anyways. So, next one. Question 2 of 9. I am easily distracted. I struggle to finish long, complex tasks, even leisure activities. I may do something else, or I end up doing several things at once. Answer yes if any of these apply to you. If you guys have noticed, okay, I am definitely one of those gamers that, like, does every single mission besides the main mission. And I don't think I've really played any sort of games so far for you guys. I don't want to say I've played any games so far for you guys that have been... A lot of them are... There is one mission type games. There is no, like, side quest or anything like that. There may be one or two other things, but I generally do all of the side quests before I do the main mission. So that means, like when I'd play Pokemon and stuff like that, I would never do... like boss battles until like my Pokemon was like a million levels over what it needed to be. But yes I am. I'm already at 7 minutes for this and I've only answered 2 questions. Question 3 of 9. I am a poor listener. I often tune out during long conversations. I may appear to be listening, but my mind wanders and I miss what's being said. Sometimes I even lose track of what I'm saying or go off on tangents. So, you already know this one is true. I do often go off on tangents. I do that every single place with any single person. I will do that, but I'll even if I'm on this tangent, I will lose track of what I am saying because I have gone on a separate tangent for a separate thing that may have nothing to do with the tangent that I've gone on about. I'm terrible with lectures. I can't sit in a lecture in school and just listen. I have no patience for that whatsoever. So I'll sit there like doodling or something like that because I just can't listen. Or I quite often am talking to a friend. Because I can't just sit down and listen to a person. I can teach, is the thing. Well, I can teach. I don't have a teaching degree or anything like that. But like I've been teaching stuff with scouting and stuff for years. Like this is actually my like 6th summer out at the camp that I'm working at, and I've been doing this for years. But I generally am. I tune out during okay. I wouldn't say I often tune out during long conversations because if it is a conversation that is holding my interest that I am contributing to actively, I will not tune out of it generally. Sometimes I do, though. Even if I am contributing to it actively, I may tune out of it randomly. Question 4 of 9. I don't follow instructions well. I prefer to jump right in rather than read the instructions, guides, or recipes. I struggle to stick to routines, schedules, or plans. I know what to do, I just don't seem to do it. Answer yes if any of these apply to you. Okay, so I do sometimes prefer to jump right in, depending on the thing. If it's like, maybe if it's something like I'm cooking or baking or whatever, I'll definitely like check, because otherwise people end up sick. But sometimes I do things and I do them the wrong way or I do them the right way that I was supposed to, or I end up doing them the wrong way, but in that wrong way I have suddenly found a better way to do that thing. I quite often do that. I do, like, when I'm given an assignment, like, for class, I'll have to read over the instructions, like, a million times before I start the assignment, and then throughout doing the assignment, I have to constantly remind myself, and somehow I'll end up with a completely different end product than what the instructions are. Struggle to stick to routines, schedules, or plans. I know what to do. I just don't seem to do it. Depending on what it means by routines, schedules, or plans, I have a terrible sleep schedule. But if it's something real, or no, I can't even say that anymore. I was gonna say medication schedules. I'm not on any medications for ADHD, mind you. I don't want to be on any medication. I already take medication for epilepsy, and that's technically, I'm supposed to be on a stricter schedule for that too, but I'm really bad at that even because I'm normally asleep. But no, yes, if any, I prefer to jump right in rather than read tasks. I struggle to. Yes, I'm like having to read through that again because like otherwise I would have answered no because I felt like that. Whatever. I feel disorganized. I have trouble organizing my work or home life. My to-do lists feel overwhelming. I often procrastinate, unsure where to start or what I need. I do keep a to-do list, surprisingly. I don't keep it well. I have a to-do list. I have one on my computer constantly that I'll update depending on what I need to do. Normally, I'll highlight things that I need to do that are utterly important or whatever, but I'll still, like, not start a 5-page paper until, like, the night before it's due or, like, 2 hours before it's due, because I'm utterly terrible when it comes to procrastinating. I procrastinate so much. I do have the unsure of where to start things sometimes. Yeah, I said I'm not showing you guys my room. Even you can see a little put my arm down. My room is an utter mess. Like constantly, 95% of the time. I moved into this house a couple of years ago, actually. I want to say either just before or just after I started college. Probably just before I started college. And there are still boxes in this room that I haven't unpacked from moving. So, yeah. I have trouble organizing. Yes. Question 6 of 9. I avoid tasks that need sustained mental effort. I struggle with jobs that demand focus for a long time. I dislike routine, repetitive tasks. I hate paperwork. But when I'm interested, I'm super focused. That is true. That is possibly the biggest thing. When I am interested, I am super focused on something. I generally do tend to hyper-focus on some things, such as, well, I can't even say that. I was going to say when, like, recording Let's Plays and stuff like that, because, like, this is when I'm recording for camp, and if I sat down and I did the math for how many videos I would need to record before camp if I wanted to constantly upload one a day, and it's like 65 videos or whatever, and I've got like maybe 10, and I leave on Wednesday, so that most likely won't happen. But I struggle with jobs that demand focus for a long time, unless it is something that like I can listen to music or something. Music helps me so much. Music saves my life all the time when it comes to this sort of stuff. If I can listen to music while I'm doing a task, I will generally do better at it because I am listening to music. It saves me all the time. I dislike routine, repetitive tasks. I hate paperwork. Falling into routine bugs me so much. It gets me so depressed, super depressed. I hate routine because if I feel like I'm basically waking up and doing the same thing over and over and over again, I will not like it because I need some variety in my life. Next. Question 7 of 9. I often lose things. I often misplace my phone, keys, or TV remote. I just had it a minute ago. I lose important paperwork. My home or workplace is cluttered. Space is cluttered, piles everywhere, so I can find things. Otherwise, I'll forget them. That is true. I wouldn't say I never misplace my phone, like never, because I've like always got it in my hand, in my pocket, on my desk. That's on my bed. It's on my bed. It's on my bed charging. um, my keys generally know where they are because they generally stay in the same spot. They generally stay like in a coat or in my bag, but or in like the pair of pants that I was wearing that day because like I always get home and change into pajama pants like almost immediately. TV remote, I don't generally watch. Well, I do watch TV. I watch plenty of TV, but I watch like stuff on Netflix and stuff. We have like a TV downstairs in the living room, but I'm hardly ever in the living room. I just had it a minute ago. I'll do that with things like important paperwork. That's why I have to have like if it isn't on if it not online, but if it is on my computer, I can generally find it pretty easy because I try and keep things organized on my computer as much as I possibly can, just so that I understand it better. My home or workspace is cluttered. Well, my home and workspace are the same space, so yes, they're cluttered. Piles everywhere. That's the thing. I generally can be like, I know the thing that I'm looking for is in this pile. That's just the working with madness. But yes. I'm easily distracted. I am easily distracted by conversations, noises, or activity around me. I am often lost in thought, one idea after another, imagining ideas or situations. I'm smart, but a bit absent-minded. I'm a daydreamer. Yes. That is... If you asked, like, any of my teachers in elementary school or even high school, because middle school I was homeschooled, I am a total daydreamer. I think I had my like third grade teacher, I want to say, was like really mean. But she was like, every boy in her class was like, they all need to be on medication. But that was like all of them. She treated the girls okay, but it was like all the boys need to be on medication. But I am easily I get distracted by conversations, noises all the time, or activity around me. This microphone, I'm still working with it. I'm still figuring all of it out because I can hear what I'm saying because I have my headphones plugged in to the microphone. I used to not be able to do that. I used to have to like just hope what I was saying was okay or the level I was speaking was okay. But I still need to I'm still working around like how to deal with this microphone audio wise. Because I'm not a huge audio person. I'm not like one of those people that sits down and deals with like that stuff constantly. I have a routine of when I open and upload videos because I haven't gotten into the habit of like making videos special and making crazy effects and stuff with videos, which is something I want to learn. I get in, I trim off the little bit of like in the beginning from when I first start the video, like that little bit in the beginning before I say my intro, which I never re-record intros or outros. Believe it or not. There are some people out there that re-record them all the time, but I don't because it's just, I feel it's unnecessary. If I mess up, I mess up. But, and then trim out little things in between, like if I have to restart my camera, I trim that out so you guys don't have to sit there and watch a black screen for like a minute. I up the audio gain for both the in-game audio, which, because normally it's always a little bit off. Like my sliders on my screen over here for mic and auxiliary, the mic, which is the auxiliary desktop audio, that's all like different. But I get constantly distracted. The point I was trying to get to was this mic is fairly powerful. It can pick up things that like I didn't used to hear around me. Not as like it things I didn't hear around me when I had my headphones on. So like normally when I had my headphones on, I didn't much hear like traffic outside and stuff. I didn't hear that too much because I wasn't too focused on that. I imagine ideas in situations all the time. That's how I get book ideas. I basically create imaginary scenarios and arguments in my head all the time just so I win them. Um, I do have that rapid one idea after another. One idea leads to another idea, leads to another idea, leads to another idea, and so on and so forth. Um, I can't attest to the smart thing. I've never had. I don't really believe in IQ tests. You can have a whatever low IQ, but it still be smart. I I don't know the science behind them is part of the reason why, but I am quite often a daydreamer. Um, Often lost. Yeah, yeah. Question 9 of 9. Finally, to the last question. I am forgetful. I often lose track of what was supposed to be doing. I'm bad with dates, names, or appointments, or forget to bring something I need. I've bought things and I realized I already own one. Do any of these things ring a bell? Um, Often lose track of what I was supposed to be doing. I do that all the time because I will open like a singular tab to do something and get like off track by something all the time. Bad with dates. I'm okay. I forget birthdays all the time. I forget basically everyone's birthday. It's a surprise I even remember my own birthday. Um, but I'm bad with. I will. If I ever meet you in real life, forgive me. I will ask you your name multiple times, more than likely, or I won't ask you your name again because I will be too embarrassed to ask your name, and will try and figure out a scenario or listen to you possibly say it, or I'll be creepy. And I do this thing where I quickly look through like Facebook or something like that to try and figure out what your name is or the person's name is because I just don't remember. Um, that's kind of why I like usernames and I hate usernames at the same time because with a username you can be all creative and stuff and with whatever you want and like something that fits your personality or whatever. Or sometimes just having a generic "this is my name" username, it can lead to things, good or bad. Appointments, like I said, generally, I don't generally forget appointments because I write them down or I have them in my phone calendar. Um, but I'll constantly remind myself of them. If I constantly remind myself of something, then it takes a minute, but it will generally implant itself into my brain. Forget to bring something I need. Um, I wouldn't say so with that one. I tend to overpack for things. Um, I'll forget to bring like homework and stuff sometimes. But like my dad always said, never let your mother watch you pack your pack or duffel bag or whatever, because it's the whole thing of he used to do a whole bunch of different things with like backpacking, search and rescue and stuff like that, and it's that thing of your mother will sit there and watch you pack your bag and make you like take all these other things that you don't need, and you'll all of a sudden be the guy that's trailing behind everyone 15 miles behind everyone because your bag is like 100 pounds when it should only be like 15. um, but I still always tend to overpack a little bit just because Boy Scout motto is be prepared. I've bought things and realized I already own one. That one's a little bit harder. I tend to be. I'm bad when it comes to buying food. I will quite often buy junk food, which is a habit that I need to stop being in. Um, but I wouldn't say that because I don't shop often. I don't like go out and like you. I will wear this. I wear like the same like clothing over no not over and over again as and I wear the same clothing day after day after day after day. Um, because that's gross. I do wash things though quite often. But I don't think I've ever bought things then realized I already own one because like I don't know. this one's a little bit of like 50-50 because I do often lose track of what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm bad with names, and some dates. If you're talking about like dates of like things that happened in the past, I'm pretty bad with like some historical dates and stuff like that. Appointments, I'm not generally bad at, partially because I don't have many. So I don't have to worry about that too much. Sometimes I forget to bring things that I need. Yeah. Generally, though, I like to check. I like to check with people to see what things I need to bring over and over and over again, just because I need to assure myself of these things. But whatever. But yeah, so I'd say this is another yes. So I answered yes on literally everything. That's the 9 inattention symptoms. You've finished part 1. Your score suggests inattention is a problem for you. While most people struggle with some of these symptoms, that doesn't mean they have ADHD. They could be stressed by major life events or any number of medical issues, but your score suggests a full assessment by a specialist who understands ADHD might be in order. About 4 to 5% of adults have ADHD. They struggle with focus, distraction, and attention. These challenges are ongoing, undermining their best intentions in many areas of life. Next, let's look at hyperactivity. 6 questions, and impulsivity. 3 questions, problem areas for many adults with ADD, and see what else we can learn. Please take part 2 of the quiz. Let's take part 2 of the quiz. It's already 26 minutes into this video. I only planned it to be like 21. I always planned it to be like 21, but it never happens. You probably don't bounce around like a hyperactive child, but perhaps you often feel restless, driven, like there's a dynamo inside you. Maybe you're impatient, on the go, thoughts race, sometimes tumbling, ricocheting as you pour out one idea after then another. You may crave excitement and trying new things, or love highly stimulating activities with a big payoff. Let's take a look at hyperactivity. Begin part 2. Physical restless, fidgety. I fidget, tap my foot, doodle, or shift in my seat to help focus. I often feel restless during long meetings, classes, or church. It's like I have a dynamo running inside. The person that asked me said it feels like I have an engine running inside me. But yes, this is all very familiar. I've been yelled at in like elementary and school so many times. Stop tapping your foot, stop tapping your foot, stop tapping your foot. But I do that all the time. I fidget, I move around in my seat all the time. Partially because I am left-handed. And all of the seats at my university, unless it is a table with chairs around it, are right-handed. There are no left-handed desks. None. They don't make them for some reason. Often feel restless during long meetings, classes, or church. Yes. Next one. Question 2 of 9. I feel the need to get up and move. I pace when I'm on the phone. I wish I could pace during meetings. I tend to walk quickly. Oh no. Okay, I'm back. Ooh. Question 2 of 9. I feel the need to get up and move. I pace when I'm on the phone. I wish I could pace during meetings. I tend to walk quickly. Sitting still and listening quietly is a challenge. Doing nothing is agitating. Yes, doing nothing is super agitating to me. Sitting still and listening quietly is a challenge. Yes, I move around all the time. I sit there, I draw, I doodle, or whatever. Pace when I'm on the phone. I wouldn't say... Because a lot of the talking I do when it comes to on the phone, I will say yes, I do like play with things on my desk or whatever, or do things with my hands, just like looking around or spinning in my chair and stuff like that, because I get bored. I wish I could pace during meetings. Yes, I wish I could get up and walk or move around during classes, but you can't. Otherwise you annoy people. That's why I tend to, I go to the bathroom a lot, strictly just so I can get up and move. And that's just literally an excuse. Question 3 of 9. Restless. My mind is always going. Falling asleep is difficult. I'm curious, always on a next idea or interesting. Seeking novelty. I've had a lot of different jobs and or move around more than most people. Not all of these may resonate, but pick yes if any of them do. I have gotten in trouble more than once by being in buildings or places that I should not be, because I have a curiosity that I need to fulfill. I haven't gotten in trouble, like, say, in trouble with the law, in trouble. I haven't gotten that in trouble, but it's been like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. And I'll be like, okay, and I'll leave. But, like, yes, I always have difficulty falling asleep. I will lay in bed at, like, 2 a.m., and I won't go to sleep until, like, 4 a.m., because I'm just sitting there thinking of things. Curious, always, yeah. Seeking novelty. I've had a lot of different jobs and or moved around more than most people. I've had a couple different jobs just because my age. I've moved around different areas in the camp that I've worked at. Moved around more than most people. I've moved houses, I would say a good many times. But that's just how my life went. But yeah. Question 4 of 9. Difficulty enjoying leisure activities quietly. I find it hard to unwind and relax. Small talk is boring. I love trying new things, then get bored and change them to make them fun. I often rush things, even if it isn't urgent. Been there, done that, next. Oh God, been there, done that, next is probably my life's motto. Find it hard to unwind and relax. I don't think it's really hard for me to relax. It would suck to go to a vacation. The last vacation I went on technically was like a family vacation where I went, visited family, and we did do things outside of just visiting family. But even when I go to like a museum, which I love going to museums, absolutely love them. I bounce around a lot and I look at different things all the time, and people can't keep up because they're like, hey dude, we're still over here. Small talk is boring. I wouldn't say I get into small talk enough for it to be boring. I love trying new things. It depends on what the new things are. For some people, the new thing is like skydiving or bungee jumping, but sort of. Then get bored and change it. Yeah. Yes. Question 5 of 9. Always on the go. Driven. It often seems like I'm always on the go, driven by a motor until I crash. I get into one hobby after another. When something interests me, I am totally immersed, enthused, wanting to know everything for a while. I'm more of a sprinter than a marathoner. Yeah, I would definitely say that. I get into one hobby. I wouldn't say I get into one hobby after another. I think it's because I play enough like games and stuff. To me, if you counted games as one hobby after another, I get into a game and instantly start like theorizing and stuff about it, and thinking about like different ways to go and stuff like that, and always looking at different like how they did the textures and like artwork and all that sort of stuff. And I'm always super like curious about all that stuff and looking through things. And I would say that's half the reason why like all of my gameplays on any game are like longer than anyone else's, is because I'm like looking at things constantly going, ooh, this is cool. Ooh, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Yeah, definitely. Question 6 of 9. Talkative. I always have a lot to say. I tell great stories, but rarely learn anything about anyone else. If someone else tries to speak, I may get louder because I feel pressured to get it out. Not all of these may resonate with you, but answer yes if any of them do. I do talk a lot when you get to know me. Sometimes I don't talk much, which is funny. That's like with my brother. If I'm in a call with my brother, like we'll get into calls with each other and play games and stuff like that, and he'll just go like silent for like an hour, and I know he's still there because he'll occasionally like pop in and say like yeah or whatever. But I'm normally the one that talks, and like I talk a lot, and I just find things like I find random things funny and look at different things, and I'll be like looking at memes on my phone while playing a video game. I don't do that for you guys though. But I try to learn things about other people. I like learning things about other people, but I will quickly forget that thing afterwards. I don't do that whole if someone else tries to speak, I may get louder because I feel pressured to get it out. I do that sometimes, I will say that, but I try to be courteous and say, yeah, go ahead. I don't want you to, I don't want to feel rude. I try not to. Question 7 of 9. Blurting out. I am full of ideas. My mind races and I have to get it out. I may seem rude, dominating, always adding my 2 cents, but I love to contribute my ideas. And I have lots of them. I often say yes to new things, but then end up overwhelmed with commitments. Not all of this may resonate, but pick yes if any of them do. Yes. Full of ideas. Like I said, I like finding new ways to do things. Like, people will be like, we've done it this way for years and 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 years. But I like finding new ways to do things. I will always try and find a new way to do things, even if it's a little bit of a longer way to do it. Sometimes that's even a better way to do it, is doing it the longer way. Yeah, I will sometimes do it seem dominating because I've done plenty of different things in scouting. Some of the things, like, I haven't shared all of my scouting career and stuff like that, but I've been through lots of trainings, and a lot of the different exercises are similar or the same. Or there's one example is we were doing an activity. I was with a group of people, and there was this activity. What we were supposed to do is there was a nail in a board, and then we had this box of other nails, and there was like just a box of other nails, and your job was to try and stack as many of those nails on top of that nail in the board as you could, and like whoever got the most won. And there was a specific way where you're supposed to take and like lay a nail on it and then like balance a whole bunch of nails off of it using like the heads of them. But I literally walked over, and it took me approximately 2 seconds to pick up the box of nails and set it on top of the nail, and was like, I win. And the person running that station was like, huh, never thought of that, but yes. Question 8 of 9. Waiting my turn is frustrating. I hate long lineups in stores, drive-through windows, or the ATM. Slow traffic is frustrating. I hate waiting for other people. Small talk is boring. I get impatient. Just give me the highlights. Burying the lead of stories is one of the worst things for me, but I do it so much. I like watching shows like murder mystery shows and stuff like that, or like other things, or I point out inconsistencies in shows and stuff like that. I quite often do that just because of my, like, what I did in high school. But like, I will solve things before the show does, just because I'm like, I don't have the time. I generally hate long lines in stores just because I'm just impatient with them, or there'll be I don't have too much reason to complain about those things. Anytime I go out of my house to need to do these sorts of things, I don't drive. I drive a little bit. I have my learner's permit, but I don't have a car. I don't have a driver's license. So I'm not too busy with those sorts of things. I do generally hate waiting for other people. I get to places, like if I'm going out on an event, I like going places first. I generally leave to get to that place first. I always like being as early as I possibly can, unless it's in the morning. I hate being early in the morning. I hate the morning so much. I am definitely not a morning person. But I would say like some slow traffic and stuff is frustrating, but I am not as frustrated as the driver. But yes. Question 9 of 9. Interrupting and intruding on others. I tend to interrupt people or feel a need to add my 2 cents. I'll ask questions before the person is finished. I can be talkative and tend to dominate conversations because I'm enthused and interested. Yes. Have you ever done that whole thing of, your teacher has a life outside of teaching? Because you can't, you probably did as a kid think they don't have a life outside of teaching. They're just a teacher. That's it. But I I would be that person that would ask the teacher more personal questions and stuff like that just to drag out the time so that they couldn't teach. And eventually they would, like, the time would run out. Be like, oh no, you couldn't teach. I wasn't listening to what you were saying, but I was asking questions. Um, I don't, I try not to interrupt people. I will get antsy and, like, I try to hold back trying to interrupt people because I don't like it. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude. I don't need to be rude. Um, and but I do feel the need to add my 2 cents. I like to like everything. I have internal monologue constantly where I add whatever to a person's statement. But yeah. Let's see my results. You scored 9 out of 9. You have completed the test. View results. Come on. Thank you for taking the Totally ADD quiz. The answers suggest you may have the combined subtype of ADHD. Those of us with this type of ADHD struggle with attention and distractibility. We may be forgetful, sensitive, distracted, or overwhelmed by hectic situations. As well, like a majority of people who have ADHD, we also struggle with hyperactivity and impulsivity. We may feel restless, talkative, impatient, and have strong emotions, but are also driven, curious, creative, and with lots on the go. Together, problems with attention, restlessness, and impulsivity make up the combined subtype of ADHD. Okay, so that is the ADHD quiz. I answered literally yes to all of them, so it was kind of hard for me not to get a 100% on them when they were all like, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? I didn't expect it to be it was technically 18 questions, but that's still really not enough to go, yes, you have this. If you do have questions like that, seek a doctor. It's that whole joke about WebMD, don't Google your symptoms or whatever. Go see a doctor. I trust doctors, but I hate hospitals. You all know that. But I have been actually diagnosed with ADHD. And I kind of expected this to say that because it's kind of one of those goofy tests that's we ask you these basic, the very basic questions that everyone asks, and it's this is what a person with ADHD has. But it's those classic symptoms, and if you answer yes to any of them, you probably have it. But so that was fun. If you want me to take any other random quizzes like this and stuff like that, I'm glad. Go ahead and send them in. You can tweet me, put them on comment on Facebook, comment on the video. If you have me and add me and know me in person, go ahead and message me or whatever. But if you want me to do any more of these quizzes like this, go right ahead and let me know if you want me to do it. But I'm all out of time for this video. If you like this one, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.